Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Hope the Mile High Mouth, and today we're going to take a look at, kind of, it's not really an unboxing because most of the stuff is not new. So it's just more or less, in a way, some of these have been, the seal's broken on some of these already. But I'm going to be opening up some things, mainly this one here, and then talking a little bit about the return to cartridge supremacy that we're seeing in handhelds. I mean, there's a ton of handhelds out there, like handheld PCs, like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally X or the the Legion Go thingy, MSI Claw, etc. There's cloud devices like the PlayStation Portal or the Logitech G Cloud. There's a ton, absolute ton of Ambernick and Powkitty things, and was it like emulation handhelds and stuff, all with like Linux or Android or their own little things. There's FPGAs like Funny Playing GBC, the chromatic mod retro chromatic. I mean, or the analog pocket. There's a lot of people just taking the original stuff and like modifying that. I mean, heck, if you can do it solder wise, and you got the time and the stuff for that, and you trust your skills, you can definitely do that. And then there's companies like Limited Run and Mod Retro Chromatic, and a lot of also third parties that are publishing brand new Game Boy and Game Boy Color games and Game Boy Advance games in 2025. So, we are back. Some of these things can even be found at your local GameStops and stuff. The Mod Retro Chromatic stuff can be found there. And other stuff too, like from Limited Run Games. Excuse me. Like Limited Run Games. Even new games like Melon Journey, which is neat. But yeah, like for example, the Mod Retro Chromatic came with this version of Tetris. The only way to get this version of Tetris right now is with the Mod Retro Chromatic. It is a completely different Tetris from the original Tetris that came out on the Game Boy, Tetris DX, or, this. Big difference, of course, that this one has you can see up to 3 pieces ahead, and it also has ghost blocks, and it has quick drops, and it also has the ability to hold a piece by hitting select, which is kind of neat. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like that infinite rotation glitch that Tetris DX has. It does have some pretty cool music, but the original Tetris is still amazing too. All of these are fantastic ways to play Tetris. This one is super easy to find. Same with Tetris DX. These two are also on the Nintendo Switch online service. The Nintendo Switch is a thing. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about cartridge supremacy. Yes. Many local game stores will replace your batteries in some of your older games. So that's the thing too. Like, I have a couple Pokemon games where some of them had dry batteries, but it doesn't cost much. And depending on where you go, you can get bundles done, or it'll take like a couple. It can take anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes to maybe an hour. One of the places I go to now, they get like 3 done in 30 minutes or less. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. Done and tested. They can even save and preserve those if you're going to be replacing something, but you want to keep your save data. Mainly because we're at a point here where all of these cartridges are so open that that's a thing that happens. Anyways, I got a couple in here in particular. We've got In the Dark, Tokitori Ultimate Edition, and Dragon M. And I wanted to get these two out here to compare them to, this is the original Capcom release for Shantae. Yay! It's my original game. And this is my original release for Tokitori. Now, the Tokitori Ultimate Edition is actually different from the original. Like, here's the front of it. It's got that mod retro chromatic side. Here's a good part of that, a little bar up there at the top, bottom of that. All that looks great. By the way, these also include charms, because you can attach cell phone charms to Mod Retro Chromatic. But yeah, we got these. Woo! And this is a version that has new features in it. Nothing else in there. Let's set that aside. We're just going to collapse these boxes and put them in with the rest of my boxes because I have a ton of boxes. Here's what the new Toki-Tori looks like. And it comes with a little charm of the main character from the game, Toki-Tori himself. There's a new instruction manual. Goes over it a little bit. This is a deluxe version of this one. That won't work in the Game Boy, even though it is Game Boy shaped. Yeah, it's just kind of how that is. But this one over here has an automatic jump. Instead of a jump button, they took out a timer. They made it a little bit more forgiving, and they rebalanced it a bit. So this right here is the original, and then this is a remaster of it. That's pretty much the original, but with like some balancing and some additional stuff. And it's in yellow. Looks pretty neat. I like those are in different colors. Like, look, yellow. It's not the same kind of yellow as, like, say, Pokemon yellow or a Donkey Kong Land yellow, but it's neat. And it comes with a little charm. Then we have In the Dark 2, which is a sequel to an original game that, let's see if there's anything else in here. Oh, yeah, let's take a look at the back of this package here. We got this. You can read a little bit about it. It also comes with a charm. And, of course, it does also recap the original story for In the Dark. In the Dark makes me think of stuff like Hungry Are the Dead, where that was a wonderful little homebrew game that had sequels. And this one has, like, puzzle gameplay to it. A lot of it is like these types of puzzles, right? And if you like those kind of puzzles, or if you're a fan of stuff like The Witness, that's a little kind of what they're going for here. Just a little. So, yeah. Anywho, here's what the game looks like. It's a nice little clear, milky clear type thing. And then a little thing of your ship. Let's set that aside here. Now, let's see. We got a couple more things here. I'm actually very excited to open up Dragonim. Mainly because, like, Dragonim looks pretty cool. I'm like, it's a brand new thing. It used to be, it's a remake of something called Dragonborn that this person was working on. And he's like, no, I'm gonna redo that. And instead of it being Dragonborn DX, it became Dragonim. Or Dragonim? Dragonim. Here's the back of it. It also includes a charm. Yep. 9 main dungeons, fantasy stuff here, etc., etc. Let's go ahead and open that up. Nothing else in there. Let's go ahead and set that aside. And it's in a gold-looking style thing. It's kind of a shiny gold. Similar to, well, Pokemon Gold. That's what they're trying to reference. You have this, you have this charm of these weird little bird-like things that live in the game. I don't know what they are yet. And here's the instruction manual. Lots of good stuff. Love these full-color instruction manuals. Kind of great. And then we have this limited run games edition for Shantae, which we'll go ahead and open that. Oh, why are you doing that, Philip? I play my games. But don't you want to have stuff to collect and be like, oh, you can put it in a thing, get a cheap whatever trade? No. Games are meant for playing, okay? Games are meant to be played. And this is a great game, by the way. I have so many different ways to play this. I have it on PlayStation. I have this on PlayStation 5. All of them up to the most recent. I have it on the Nintendo Switch. I have the original Game Boy Color game. I have this. And I also have like all the ones that were released on the Xbox. Those ones on there too. Okay. Anyways, here's the back of that box. Compatible with your retro handheld. Yep. Okay. And then we have a recreation of the instruction booklet. And here is the limited run edition for that. Nice. Looking good. There's no Capcom on it, but yeah, here's how you see the difference between those. Quite a few differences. Here's the boards. Yep. Interesting boards. Backs and sides. That's kind of interesting how those look. But yeah, the difference between this, like this loose is 50 to 80 bucks loose. Or like with the box about 100. Right? Complete in box about 100. Loose about 50 to 80. In the box, you're looking at something being about like what, 800 or something like that. Loose, this is like 700 bucks or something obnoxious like that. There's a big difference in those, but you're more likely to find copies of this one. And honestly, you can also get it digitally. It's available, it's out there, and it's pretty great. But yeah, I'm just gonna throw all that stuff back. I'm kind of sad it didn't come with like a little plastic case like some old Game Boy games did. Well, old Game Boy games did. Not a lot of Game Boy Color games did. They didn't come with little cases. But yeah, that's that. All of these will work in like your Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Analog Pocket, Chromatic, Funny Playing Game Boy Color, etc. And I just think it's kind of neat to have so many different stuff out there. I think it's kind of great that we have some of these new companies just dedicated to making it easier for people to play new games, or even to play older games. I mean, we have 4 of these by Mod Retro, and 2 of these by Limited Run. And Limited Run also has some Game Boy Advance games coming out, some more stuff coming out. They released stuff like Trip World DX. They've released a lot of neat stuff. Like, I think they had copies of Felix the Cat and stuff like that. It's nice to see companies doing that. And I hope that we see more of that going forward in 2025. I just feel that it's the right time to do that. And there's kind of a big reason why this is a good idea. I mean, a lot of people will carry around, like, say, people carry their phones around and doom scroll all the time. People carry around stuff like the Switch or the Steam Deck or whatnot. But if you're carrying something like, say, a Mod Retro Chromatic, and just say something like, yeah, let's go ahead and boop, boop, way forward. Boo, boo, boo. Ooh, Limited Run, yeah. The other one says Capcom when you open it up. But yeah. One thing I've noticed going forward, I found that I actually keep the brightness kind of low on these. It doesn't need to be as bright as possible, because it just fits better with that. But also, I find that carrying only one game with you means you're only playing one game. And if it's a good game like Pokemon or Dragon Age or even Tetris or any of those, you can just pick up and play. There's something fun about just turning on a device, playing one game that's in the device, and just kind of dedicating your time to that. There's something called paralysis of choice. And having devices like the Mod Retro Chromatic, and companies like Limited Run and Mod Retro, and even like a bunch of third parties putting out actual Game Boy cartridges again, and Game Boy Color stuff, is a way of combating that. Because, I mean, we all know about brain rot, etc., etc. The way to combat that, and the way to combat paralysis of choice, is to limit your choices. Why not just carry around a Game Boy, like a Funny Playing Game Boy, or an Analog Pocket, or a Mod Retro Chromatic, and a copy of, say, Survival Kids, or even those, like just very vastly curated items. Just go with it, because honestly, that's kind of the best way to be. You get some gameplay out there. It's a little bit of mind stimulation. These things are great, and honestly, let's run across here. Whoops. Jeepers. Stuff's just falling apart here. Yeah, this looks great. There's a lot going on there. This is kind of like, these look great. I mean, look at that. Nice. Oh, enemies are going to pop out here in a moment. Gotta hit them with my abilities. Yep, in the flesh. Sorry about your shack, darling. Blah, blah, blah. Not some scrawny kid. Well, no matter. Got a haul booty. Ba-ba! Oh, she's up to no good, that's for sure. Blah, 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 blah. And she just kind of walks off to the side. Because why not? But yeah, these types of devices, they kind of give you, they remove that paralysis of choice. They remove so much distraction, and they just give you one thing to concentrate on. And you know what? Concentrating and beating one game at a time is actually very soothing. We've all had that thing where you're just feeling overwhelmed, but being able to pop in one game cartridge, one game, and just play that. Although myself, I really actually carry around like Legend of Zelda, because I'm playing through it again, and Pokemon Yellow, and I've got to get the batteries changed in Pokemon Crystal. But yeah, just generally, I love that this is happening, that we have newer versions of games. We can get those batteries replaced. There's a lot of knowledge out there. There's a lot of ways to get into that, and it's good. All hail cartridge supremacy. I don't know. I just wanted to open up some stuff, show you guys some things here, and talk a little bit about game cartridges and how great they are. I mean, this is the Game Boy I wish existed when I was growing up with it, because one, the screen's amazing. Battery life is fine. It takes 3 AA batteries. They'll make a thing for it, but I'm like, this, just going back to those, I've been playing Donkey Kong 94 and Wario Land again. Just those games are still good. There's no subscriptions, no live service garbage. They're just the game. The game you have is the game you have. There's no auto saves. There are all sorts of stuff where it's like the difference between reading something off of a Paperwhite or a Kindle, and like, you know, like those or the Amazon thingies, and the difference between reading an actual book, like carrying around one book and reading through that one thing. And I think it's actually a thing that we need to do. I think we need to do less. There's a lot of stuff that's just super stressful out there, and the world is crazy. Sometimes you just need to do less. And maybe sometimes you just need to spend some time with a little yellow bird, or whatever epic game Dragonim is. And yeah. Let me know in the comments below what you think. By the way this lighting is Spacebot Interactive. Yeah, that lighting. This screen looks a little off color-wise, but that's actually just because of the way the screen, like the lighting is, and just like recording it. The screen looks amazing in person. In fact, I think it's one of the best screens. I usually keep it at half, but it's one of the best screens out there. Dragging him from Spacebot Interactive. Yeah, haven't done anything in here. Wait, let's hear this. Yeah, that sounds good. I wonder if there's a soundtrack for it. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you think. Are you doing this? I mean, I think the cheapest you can get into this is if you don't mind putting it together yourself, an FPGA or FPGC, like the Funny Playing Game Boy Color, is one of the cheapest ones to do. The Analog Pocket is in stock. The Mod Retro Chromatic is sold out online, but GameStop has them in stock, generally. And you can get new games, like there's that Escape from Monsterland DX, which looks pretty good. They came out with, they launched with 6 games, and there's a bunch of other companies that have put stuff out, too, like Sanctuary or things like that. There's a bunch. There are Game Boy and Game Boy Color games out there all the time, even on Kickstarter and stuff, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous that this is a thing that's happening. I am pleased to see this type of fad coming to fruition. I mean, yes, there's also repro cartridges. Like, there are people who will make repro cartridges of things, just as long as they're not trying to charge you a full price for it, like you would for an original item. I don't see any problem with repro cartridges. I look at that as a way of helping more people experience a title. And of course you can also do Easy Flash and stuff like that, but honestly I prefer to use original hardware, or at least licensed hardware, as much as possible. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think. Hit that thumbs up, the share button, that subscribe button. Ring that little bell so you're notified whenever we have a brand new video here on Area DMG. And would you like me to show you some of these games running on the Mod Retro Chromatic or on the Analog Pocket or other items like that? Would you like to see me running some of them side by side to show off stuff? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below, and yeah. Until next video comes out, you are now caught up. And now to start a new adventure.
Morning, Maya.